Ladies and gentlemen, it's a big, weird, wild world out there, folks, and here we stand. Al pie del cañón, ready for anything. I'm Rob, that's Dan, and you're listening to...
The ProBoh Show!
Good morning, boys and girls. It's 8:30 a.m. Central European Time, and you're listening to me and Dan live on this, the 21st of July, 2026. How are you doing out there, folks? Welcome. If you want to join us live, have me be the conduit of your thoughts and ideas. It's very simple. Very simple indeed. You join us on twitch.tv/professional bohemian. That's twitch.tv/bohemio profesional, pero en inglés. I would normally say at this point, you can also interact with the show outside of our live times on my Instagram, which is @professionalbohemian. But yesterday I didn't post anything. So it's going to be an interesting show today. I will get back on that tomorrow. Today's unpopular opinion and 100 humans is kind of a part 2 to yesterday's show. What did we talk about yesterday, Dan? Can you remember? Oh, Dan. Profit? Beneficio económico?
If profit was better than...
A better motivator.
Than compassion.
Oh, Dan, give yourself a ProBoh approved.
ProBoh approved.
It took him a second, but you got there. Yeah, so that's what we spoke about yesterday. Today's kind of a part 2, and I think tomorrow will be a bit of a part 3, believe it or not, as we dig into capital and its consequences. By the way, guys, do drink lots of water today. We'll be getting to highs of 37 degrees, Dan. Oh my God, 37 degrees right here in Madrid. Currently a balmy 20 degrees outside. But yeah, today, tomorrow, and the following day, Thursday, we'll be getting progressively hotter, I believe. Tomorrow at 38 and Thursday at 39. Jeezy Louise, before we receive a reprieve for the weekend, I hope. Let's see who's joining us live. Again, if you want to be as cool, as sexy, and as charming as these people, you can join them on twitch.tv/professional bohemian. We've got Eugene here from Russia. He says, "Hi guys, it's pretty warm and sunny here, so I'm at the beach." Oh, I won't say that too loudly because, yeah, my better half wants to go to the beach. Have you sorted out your summer vacations yet, Dan?
No.
No, me neither. Me neither, don't feel bad.
I tried.
I don't have anyone to look after my dogs. That's my main problem now. Bridge says, "Good morning, my beautiful Bonnie Bouncy Bohemians and Bonnie Bouncy Bob and darling dashing dandy Dan the radio man. Need to keep Bouncy Bob's mouth moving." You do. It's a lovely trabalenguas. Do you know how you say trabalenguas in English?
No.
We say a tongue twister. I'm not sure how you translate twister, but tongue obviously is lengua. By the way, friends, if you're interested in learning a little Spanish, that other language we adopt in the show, comoestas.co.uk/masterclass. Artemisa's also with us. She says, "Good morning, Rob, Dan the radio man, and all the cheerful, charming bohemians. Happy Tuesday, friends." Happy Tuesday, everyone. Happy Tuesday, Dan. How's your week going so far? How's working from home treating you?
It's treating me fine.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Dan. It's confusing for me. Like, I've taken so much work home now. Here in the office, I'm limited with what I can do. So it's a bit annoying. Mike says, "Good morning, dear Bohemians. Day 1 of the Burnham era." Oh, look at... You know, Mike, I think, has access to my show notes. Yesterday, I was holding back on the Netflix news. And today I was going to talk about Andy Burnham, the King of the North. We'll get into it in a little bit. But yes, it is indeed the first day of a new PM in my country, in England. Well, in the UK. Let's be precise. The bridge says, "How about estruja lenguas? Estruja lenguas. Tongue twister." I like that. Estruja lenguas. All right. Shall we see what we're talking about today before we get into the main bones of the news and things? So as I said, it's going to be a part 2, kind of the middle session of this 3-parter with regards to capital and its consequences, right? So here we go. We asked 100 humans today to name something people are greedy for. Name something people are greedy for. Nombra algo por lo que la gente es codiciosa. Or you could say, right, Dan? Avariciosa.
Yes.
Look at that. Oh, no nivelazo. I don't need nivelazo, Dan. My confidence is there.
Vaya nivelazo.
Thank you. And the unpopular opinion today, and this is one, I'm going to mention it now and leave you to stew on it for all your amazing comments later. It's this. Greed, la codicia, la avaricia, greed has improved more lives than generosity. La codicia ha mejorado más vidas que la generosidad. It's a tough one. It's a tough one, but we will get back to it later on in the show. As you know, we will cover this in its entirety. What we don't have is a view of the general public because in the rush to get home and continue with my work there, I forgot to post anything. But let's get into some news, shall we, friends? Well, I'll tell you what. We'll kind of, given that this is a part 2 of yesterday's show, let's cover that news that Mike mentioned. So yesterday we covered a little AI news, didn't we? About how Spotify had deleted 75 million AI-generated tracks from its catalog. Not necessarily banning AI from their platform, but getting rid of a lot of the slop. Which I think we all hail as pretty good news, don't we? And then Mike in the live audience here mentioned, well, what about Netflix? What about Netflix? Didn't they say something over the weekend? They did indeed, and here it is. 2 news stories I'm going to cover here about Netflix as they are written or as they were covered by Variety. About 300 Netflix titles used generative AI this year, the company reveals. Unos 300 títulos de Netflix han usado inteligencia artificial generativa este año, revela la compañía. How do you feel about that, Dan? Would you notice, do you think, if you watch these shows?
Well, I guess it depends on the show. But my question is, are these shows made by Netflix?
Interesting. I think Netflix has a co-production agreement even with the independent producers it uses. But that's an interesting question. Let's get into the news and see if any light is shed on that question. So here we go. Netflix says around 300 titles across its library used generative AI in 2026, with the company describing the technology as part of its production workflow, from early concept work through post-production and release. In its latest earnings report, Netflix said AI helped create complex scenes in projects, including, now I haven't seen, I'm going to be honest with you, any of the 3 that the article mentions. Glory, Brazil 70, and The American Experiment, making some sequences faster, cheaper, and in some cases possible at all. So my question would be, right, how are they employing AI? How are they employing AI? If they're just firing camera workers, right? If they're just firing camera workers and not using actors, then that would be a problem for me. However, if it's used as a tool, as part of the production workflow, then all of a sudden my opinion changes. I mean, if it's a beginning and end point, so if it's, I need this scene, let's generate this scene, you press a button and then the computer spits out a completed scene, then that would be an issue for me. But it doesn't look like this is what they're talking about, and maybe it offers a little clarity into what George Lucas was talking about when he defended the use of AI in cinema. The company is positioning AI as a tool for filmmakers rather than replacing them, which, let's be honest, friends, is a little bit of bullshit, isn't it? Because although you may not be replacing the directors or the actors, you know, post-production workflow, lighting, there are key roles in filmmaking that currently are being replaced by AI. Special effects supervisors, special effects CGI artists, all disappearing. I mean, look, this is a common story, isn't it? As technology enters the market, some jobs kind of fall by the wayside. I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, look, all those people who did stop motion animation. Is that a clear concept? Stop motion animation, Dan? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. That's when you take a photo, you move the model a little bit, you take another photo. I mean, look, most of the cinema people of my age watched as a kid had stop motion animation in it. Jason and the Argonauts, things like that. Anyway, and those guys were all replaced by CG artists, and it looks like the CG artists may be being replaced by AI. So let's get into a little more here. Co-CEO Ted Sarandos said AI is helping creatives expand what they can do, pointing to 17 minutes of AI-enhanced footage in the American experiment. He said that was produced in half the time and half the cost of previous methods. Netflix has also been expanding its broader AI push through areas like title discovery, advertising, and animation, including its acquisition of Ben Affleck's. You know Ben Affleck, right, Dan?
Yes.
The Batman. Or the previous Batman. Ben Affleck's AI filmmaking company, InterPositive. Oh, Ben. Even as some readers and subscribers remain openly skeptical about what this means for creative jobs. I mean, how do you feel about it? Are you on George Lucas's side of this, Dan, or are you on the artist's side?
I think I'm more in the artist side.
Yeah. Me too, but it's becoming increasingly evident to me that perhaps I am being a bit old-fashioned, or we are being a bit old-fashioned. I mean, I'll always fight for the artists. I mean, I began my trajectory in TV production using visual effects tools, using tools like After Effects, Blender, tools that are quickly becoming a little defunct if more companies, more producers like Netflix start using AI. They use it mainly for to improve post-production tasks like sound mixing, relighting, and visual effects. But let's not kid ourselves. I mean, a lot of people in the production industry are going to lose their jobs. And let's see what people are saying here. Although that would probably make it a tongue squeezer, estrujalenguas. Yeah. That was from The Bridge. Vero here says, good morning, beautiful bohemians. Around the universe and beyond, no unpopular opinion yesterday. Sorry, Vero. I'm going to be honest. It wasn't intentional. I just forgot to post it. Vero says, Ben Affleck, in my honest opinion, is the worst Batman. Oh, that's a bit of a controversy. What do you think, Dan? Worst Batman?
I don't know the other actors of Batman. So.
Did you see the new one with Robert, the guy from, what's his name? Robert Pattinson.
Only the first part. I don't know even if the second part...
It's not out yet. They're still making it. I think it's 2028 when it comes out. I quite like Ben Affleck, I'm going to be honest. For me, Val Kilmer was the worst Batman. Or George Clooney was the worst Batman. I didn't mind Ben Affleck. He was a little hyper-violent. I mean, he killed people, but still... the rest of the portrayal was quite fun. Anyway, so yeah, Netflix did in fact acquire Ben Affleck's AI startup InterPositive for a ridiculous amount of money. $587 million they paid. Netflix has confirmed they paid $587 million in cash to acquire Ben Affleck's AI startup, InterPositive, according to a federal filing. The deal, completed in March, brings Affleck into Netflix as a senior advisor and adds InterPositive's 16-person team of engineers, researchers, and creatives to the company. 16-person team, Dan, $500 million in the American in the American billions. Yeah, crazy amount of money. Founded in 2022 and run in stealth mode, InterPositive was built around AI tools designed to support filmmakers, not replace them. By using production dailies are usually the things you filmed that day, to improve post-production tasks like sound mixing, relighting, and visual effects. Are we gonna pretend now that sound mixers, lighting technicians, and visual effects artists aren't filmmakers? Is that what we're doing? Is that what Netflix is asking? Or InterPositive? Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this, but maybe I increasingly feel like perhaps, yeah, I'm on the wrong side of history by fighting against this. I think there's a difference in how you use AI. I think there's either completely replacing people or using it as a tool. It sounds like this company, Ben Affleck's company, InterPositive, is using it as a tool. Mike says, come on, George Clooney is worse. Yeah, I agree, Mike. The bat nipples. George Clooney had nipples on his bat suit. Come on. I like Ben, but I don't like his Batman. Yeah, I like Ben Affleck too. Talented director and actor. But I understand he was quite a hyper-violent Batman, so I get why a lot of people don't like him. And quickly before we say goodbye to the news, I did want to briefly mention. Forgive my indulgence. I know we are in Spain, but I did want to mention the King of the North, El Rey del Norte, Andy Burnham. I didn't give him that nickname. The people of Manchester, I think, did. Former mayor of Manchester, Andy Burnham, becomes the 7th British Prime Minister in a decade. El Rey del Norte, Andy Burnham, se convierte en el séptimo primer ministro británico en una década. Andy Burnham has become Britain's new Prime Minister, replacing Keir Starmer after a turbulent period for the Labour government. His arrival continues the extraordinary churn at the top of British politics, making him the 7th Prime Minister in a decade. Burnham has promised a dramatic reset, calling for a circuit breaker for Britain and vowing to tackle the cost of living and rough sleeping. That's homelessness he's talking about there. And hand more power back to ordinary people. But the scale of the challenge is enormous. Burnham takes office with Britain still struggling over low wages, pressure on the NHS, which is our Seguridad Social, political distrust, immigration tensions, and growing competition from Nigel Farage's Reform UK, who I think in recent months, thanks to Nigel Farage's questionable actions in receiving donations, are beating a retreat, thank God. Thank God. I don't want Nigel Farage anywhere near number 11. That would be terrible. Mike says here, Netflix is basically saying film technicians are expendable. Yeah, I agreed. And a new PM. I'm cautiously optimistic. We'll talk more about Andy Burnham and British politics if you're interested tomorrow. You can let me know via message, because there is a lot of interesting things happening right now in the UK. All right, let's move on to today's unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
Okay, today's unpopular opinion is greed, la codicia. Greed has improved more lives than generosity. La codicia ha mejorado más vidas que la generosidad. What do you think, Dan? You think it's true or a false?
I think it's not true.
You think it has?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely an argument to be made, right? That greed has improved more lives. Affordable mass-produced goods, businesses keeping larger profits found ways to manufacture clothes, furniture, appliances, tools cheaply. Right? I mean, there's one way. Supermarkets and food distribution has improved people's lives quite a lot. Retailers made money by moving huge quantities of food efficiently. Their pursuit of market share helped reliable supply chains and create those supply chains. Railways and shipping networks, telecommunications, cheaper air travel, pharmaceutical research. Drug companies pursue treatments partly because successful medicines can generate enormous profits, right? Faster vaccine development. I know that's going to trigger a lot of people, but go dip your head in some cold water if it does. Consumer technology, so look at your mobile phone. I mean, all right, like obviously everything may have a bit of a dark side. Renewable energy is profitable, right? Companies invest in solar panels, batteries, sorry, my accent, electric vehicles, partly because they expect future profits. Look, Elon Musk is not an altruistic individual, and he owns what used to be one of the most prestigious electric car companies. Agricultural productivity, home delivery and logistics. It seems to be that the list is endless. But improve people's lives is a tricky one, isn't it? It's a tricky one. Because if we agree that greed has improved more lives than generosity, isn't it generosity? Isn't it generosity that fixes the problems, that has to fix the problems that greed costs? Like we just mentioned here, home delivery and logistics, right? Companies like Amazon. But they're minimum wage employees that have to pee in bottles because they can't take a pee break. And have to use food banks to feed their families. How do those food banks get filled? It's not through greed, is it? Through generosity. Yeah, I think almost generosity has to step in and fix the problems that greed creates. Is this a double-edged sword, or is it not? That's the question. It's a tough one today. We will come to your comments, so do leave a lot of comments. What do you think? Has greed improved more lives than generosity? La codicia ha mejorado más vidas que la generosidad. Well, Dan's a true, like, generosity. Generosity begins with a desire to help people, right? But greed begins with a desire to gain something. We were talking yesterday about profit being a better motivator. Greedy people crave profit, right? Or power. But that motive, even though that motive is less noble, it can be far more relentless. The person seeking profit has a reason to make a product cheaper, faster, easier to use, and available to millions because every new customer benefits them. And through benefiting them, it benefits us. That's the idea, I think. And that's, I think, why Dan is a true. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. This means that greed can accidentally, like a side effect of greed, is it becoming a powerful engine for public good. A company doesn't need to care deeply about hunger to improve food distribution, does it? It only needs to see money in solving the problem. A pharmaceutical business may be motivated by enormous profits, but the medicine it produces still saves millions of lives. And it is, of course, prompted to make those advancements in the name of profit. Generosity kind of depends on continued goodwill, while greed creates systems that reward people for continuing to provide something useful. And useful, that phrase useful, usually improves people's lives. But let's talk a little bit about the cons now. Saying that generosity really has the bigger part to play here, that greed improves lives only when greed is restrained. So greed doesn't naturally seek to improve lives. It seeks to extract the greatest possible benefit for the person acting greedily. Right? Does that make sense? Generosity seeks to improve lives. Greed extracts everything possible to benefit the individual that is acting in that way. Sometimes this produces innovation, jobs, cheaper goods, but only when laws, competition, social pressure, and ethical norms prevent exploitation from being profitable. And we're seeing a lot of those guardrails being stripped, aren't we, in society? A greedy company may cure a disease, but it also changes prices that keep the cure out of reach. I mean, if we agree that greed is making people's lives better, then what about those drugs in the US that are inaccessible to poorer people? You know, insurance companies in the US that are making healthcare almost inaccessible to people. Predatory practices, price gouging, keeping the poor poorer and leaving the most comfortable and easy to access things only in the hands of the people who can afford it. Does that sound like improving lives to you? Interesting. So I'm going to ask you to vote, and based on your vote, we'll go over the pros and cons, my friends. Greed has improved more lives than generosity. True or false? All right, guys, we're going to take a break while you vote, and we'll get back right after these messages. Hey, guys, if you'd like to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. That's patreon.com/professional bohemian. There you'll find VODs of the episodes as they are recorded live, blogs, vlogs, and behind-the-scenes content. If you'd like to watch the show live, you can do so on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, and you can participate in the polls we use in the show on Instagram @professional bohemian or Twitter @ProBoh, ProBoh. Okay, on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. How are you doing out there? It's currently 9 a.m. Central European Time on this, the 21st of July, 2026. Good morning, good morning. It's Tuesday, the cruelest day, as some people would have it. Let's dig into what you've missed if you just tuned in. A little bit of an unusual show today because we didn't post the poll on Instagram. We're kind of rearranging how we do things. In the first part of the show, we spoke about Netflix and how they used 300 of their productions. They used generative AI, and how they paid $587 million for an AI startup called InterPositive, previously owned by Ben Affleck, the actor and director. They use it for post-production, things like sound mixing, relighting, visual effects. Yeah, and I love what Mike said here in the chat. He says, where are we? Netflix is basically saying film technicians are expendable. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm on the side of the technicians and the artists, but it does feel increasingly over time, doesn't it, that we're kind of, I don't know, that maybe we're stuck in the past and this is the future, that we need to get used to it. I just don't know. I'm just not sure. I mean, if they were saying, look, we use it to fix problems in the shoot so we don't have to do reshoots, well, okay. Okay. But that's not what they're saying. They're saying they're using it habitually. And then we spoke very briefly about the new PM. This is day one of his premiership. King of the North, Andy Burnham, becomes the 7th British Prime Minister in a decade. El Rey del Norte, Andy Burnham, se convierte en el 7º Primer Ministro británico en una década. I wish him the best of luck. It's nice to see a northerner like myself in number 11. He's actually going to make a satellite number 11 in the north of England. And it's nice to hear a northern accent coming out of a prime minister. It really is, I have to admit. Yeah. I mean, when we look at Vero here mentions, British people need to do something about their politics. Since Brexit, Britain is going down the drain. Yeah. I agree. And I would love Burnham to say, look, we need to rejoin the EU. Starmer, his predecessor, who I don't dislike, by the way. I wasn't a Starmer hater like many. He did a lot of great things. He put some of the the private railway back into public hands, which I really think was a good idea. I think they need to do the same thing with water and other daily necessities back like it was prior to the Thatcher era. But anyway, I won't say much more about that. But yeah, we need a prime minister to openly say, look, time to rejoin the EU. Because every prime minister is saying the same thing. Yeah, we think it was a bad idea, but the public has spoken. I mean, if we were to believe the polling on the question of Brexit now, the public would say something very different, I think. And of course, if everyone's saying the same thing, well, we're going to stay out of Europe, then basically every prime minister is just saying, well, we're going to keep you poor. Things are just going to get a little bit worse. Yeah, and that's not good enough, I don't think. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm never going to move back to the UK, touch wood. But still, I care about the country. It's the country of my birth, isn't it? Anyway, let's get back into today's unpopular opinion, which is... greed has improved more lives than generosity. Shifted your needle at all here, Dan, or are you still on the greed train?
I'm still on the greed train.
And is it mainly because of innovation?
Yes, because I think that greed impulsar.
It pushes
capitalism, and I think capitalism has brought us a lot of innovation in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it has brought us a lot of innovation. I mean, it's hard to disagree with that. I mean, look, I agree. Innovation is being driven by the love of capital. But that is not really the question, is it? I mean, it kind of is to a degree. But I think greed is capitalism taken... saying greed is good, going back to what we mentioned yesterday when Fitz was in the studio. Greed is good. Famous quote there from Wall Street, the character Gordon Gekko. Greed is good. It's not, is it? It's one of the 7 deadly sins, I believe. I mean, greed is a consequence, maybe perhaps a consequence of capitalism. But yeah, innovation too. Innovation is another consequence of that. It's brought us everything, hasn't it? Great telecommunications, rail and shipping networks, supermarkets, food distribution, affordable mass-produced goods, pharmaceutical research, cheap air travel. It's hard to argue that greed hasn't done some good things. But then taken to an extreme, Dan. I mean, look at Eugene from Russia here. He has a very clear idea. We'll get to let's just read it now. It's a very atypical show today. False. Eventually, greed will kill all life on this planet, he says. Yeah. I mean, people say, have you ever heard the expression, money is the root of all evil, Dan?
I mean, I haven't heard it, but I know what it means.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a biblical quote. I think it might be. Money is the root of all evil. Money isn't the root of all evil, is it? Money, just like... money, just like the mobile phone, is a tool. It's a tool we use to exchange goods and services for other goods and services. It would be incredibly impractical if you wanted a basket of apples to go with a goat and say, here's my goat, give me a basket of apples. Right? And exchange the goat. How would you get change? Would it chop the horns off, or So money is used as a go-between for goods and services. So it's a tool. Greed, perhaps, is the root of all evil, right? Mike here asks, would people have children if not for generosity? Exactly. I mean, if you were really greedy, is having children something you would consider? Because let's face it, it's a massive drain economically, isn't it, having a kid? Vero says, true. Sadly, it's easier to grow through stepping on others. But let's not kid ourselves. Again, I think generosity is quite often has to step in to fix the ills that greed has thrust upon us. Mike says, wars also push a lot of advances in technology. That doesn't mean I'm pro-war. Wow. Come on, can we give Mike a damn nivelazo, please?
Vaya nivelazo.
Yeah, true. Velcro, the zipper. Satellite communication, Teflon. So, super glue. God, I could list for an hour the innovations given to us through war. But no one would argue war is good. Unless you were quite greedy and there was a profit to be made. This is where we get to the dichotomy. This is where we get to the crux of the issue. Again, I brought up Eugene, our friend here that joins us every day from Russia. We love him. And he's a great guy. Currently living under an oligarchy. I mean, is greed that good? Really? I mean, we don't live in that state, do we? Where, well, we do actually increasingly all over the world, don't we? Where all the money and power is increasingly held by a few. We were talking about British politics, American politics, I believe Spanish politics. Most of the politicians in those three countries come from the same four schools, right? Well, 4 schools in the UK, 4 schools in the US, and 4 schools in Spain. Does that seem fair to you? If you didn't go to those schools, perhaps your chances of being a leader are somewhat scuppered, right? Bridge here says, for change, chop the horns off. Good thing you're battering a goat. Mike says, the full biblical quote is, the love of money is the root of all evil. There you go. There you go. Yeah, so it's an interesting one, and there certainly is quite a lot of I mean, it's not as clear cut as we would believe, I don't think. And again, if we were to turn to the Bible for a little wisdom and clarity on this issue, the love of money is the root of all evil. Well, what do we call the love of money, Dan? We call it greed, you know? I mean, greed has often been a powerful engine for human progress. I don't think we can argue that. Even though Mike's amazing comment here, wars also push a lot of advances in technology, but that doesn't mean I'm pro-war. True story. It can be a powerful engine for human progress, but engines need direction, don't they? The desire to gain more has built companies, technologies, and opportunities that have changed the world, yet generosity determines whether those gains are shared, protected, or used wisely. That is the thing, isn't it? I mean, what is going to happen with Elon Musk's immense wealth? Wealthiest man in the world. Isn't he a trillionaire now, Dan? Am I right in thinking that? Is Elon Musk a trillionaire now?
I don't know.
I think he was. I think the SpaceX privatization thrust him into a trillionaire status. I think then he, now that the stock price has fallen, what's going to happen with his immense wealth, his $1 trillion wealth? What's going to happen with that? Are we going to see any of that? I doubt it. I doubt it, friends. Or Jeff Bezos, or Bill Gates. What's going to happen with their immense wealth? I mean, that's greed, isn't it? I mean, who needs that much money? Who needs $1 billion? Here's the thing: when we start talking in the billions and trillions, it almost becomes a conceptual exercise of trying to get your head around how much $1 billion actually is. Because you and I, Dan, can barely imagine what it's like to have €1 million. €1 million euros is just so beyond imagination that it's almost impossible to conceptualize. Artemisia says, greed may have created more products, but it sometimes creates the very needs it later seeks to satisfy. Wow. Can we get ProBoh approved, please, for Artemisia? Brilliant.
ProBoh approved.
I think the question isn't whether selfishness or kindness wins, but whether we can build a world, right, where ambition creates wealth and compassion decides what to do with it. And there's the missing piece of the puzzle. Because compassion has been completely left off the table, hasn't it? Which means we've got these few individuals that have acquired so much wealth and power, leaving the rest of us to one side. I mean, what the hell do we do with these individuals now? Because they have acquired so much power that it's almost impossible to dethrone them. We're living in another feudal era, aren't we? At least in some accounts. Think about your online life, right? If you use Instagram mainly, right, Dan?
Yes.
So, your attention, you work for Mark Zuckerberg on Instagram. He takes your attention and data. He sells your data and keeps your attention focused, so he can sell ad spaces to advertisers. You work for Elon Musk for Mark Zuckerberg, for the privilege of having a space in his digital territory. It's a digital feudalism. He is your feudal lord. Well, you work for him for the privilege of being able to live in his online space. I mean, is that the kind of world we want to live in? I'm going to repeat what I said. The question isn't whether selfishness or kindness wins, but whether we can build a world where ambition is left to create wealth, but compassion decides what to do with it. And where is the compassion? I think we should get to the results of our poll today. So I made the statement that greed has improved more lives than generosity, and you guys said... Another one. Interesting. That's 2 days in a row. The answer, friends, is 50-50. Interesting. Yeah, it's a tough one today because I think we would all like to acquire more wealth, wouldn't we? So we always speak in more hushed tones when it comes to restraining the wealthy. But I think quite often greed can confuse wealth creation with human improvement, can't it? A society where people become richer while people feel more stressed, isolated, and insecure. I mean, economic success does not automatically equal a better life if it comes at the expense of relationships, health, community, or meaning. I mean, okay, generosity may not have created a lot of innovation, or it may not have been the driving force behind a lot of innovation, but it does create a lot more social trust, doesn't it? People are more willing to participate in a society where they believe others care more than personal gain. Acts of generosity strengthen communities, right? They create networks of mutual support, that can't be reduced to financial transactions. So whereas greed has improved the lives of us all, really, with certain technological advancements, I don't think we can sit here and hold our hands in the air and say greed is a good thing, can we? Because it's left to generosity to fix the ills it creates. But you know what Grandpa Bo would say about all that, don't you, friends? He'd say, Rob, that's just your opinion. And opinions are like buttholes. Everyone has one. They all stink, including mine. Let's move on to today's 100 Humans. Oh my God. It was a long walk to work today across snow-capped mountains and through river valleys, and on that walk I encountered 100 humans and I asked them all a question. Today's question is, name something people are greedy for. Nombra algo por lo que la gente es codiciosa. That's today's 100 Humans question. I asked them that question. They gave me their answers. I am in possession of the top 7 answers. Your job in the audience is to identify those top 7 answers. Name something people are greedy for. All right, what do you think, Dan?
Money.
Money. Mike agrees. Money. Dinero. Yeah, just because it's such a scarce thing nowadays, right? For most of us. Is money there? Yes, it is. Well done, Mike. Well done, Dan. Money is there with 31 of 100 humans. It's the number one answer. All right, let's continue. Simply money, says the bridge as well. And what do we have here? Land, says Eugene. Well, if we're to look at the invasions that have been happening. Yeah, land perhaps. Or maybe what that land contains, right? Whether it be natural resources or whatever. Is land there? Tierra? No, it's not. Wah, wah, wah. Gigi, how are you doing, Gigi? Nice to see you. Gigi says power. Power. Poder. Is power there? Yes, it is, Gigi. Welcome back. A powerful welcome to the show. Look at that. You've got the number 2 answer with poder, power. 27 of 100 humans said power is something people are greedy for. People are greedy for power. Properties. Properties, says Artemisa. Which is kind of akin to land, isn't it? A little bit. I can't give it to you. It's a good answer, but I can't give it to you. Gigi says attention. Atención. Is attention there? People are greedy for attention. Jeez. If you spend more than 5 minutes on Instagram, especially in the summer, oh God, man. Is attention there? Yes, it is. Well done, well done. Wow, Gigi's on fire today. Let's see. Chocolate, says the bridge. Do you mean chocolate, Bridge? Are we seeing a little bit deeper into your psyche here, Bridge? Chocolate. Should I give it? I don't think I can. But chocolate falls inside of a group of consumable. It's something we consume. Yeah. I don't want to give you too powerful. Artemisa got it at the end there. Anyway, let's continue. Fame, says Gigi. Fama. Is fame there? Yes, it is. Well done. Fame is there. Fama. Gigi again on fire. 4 of 100 humans said fame. It's the 6th most popular answer. Let's see. Yes, Rob. Milk chocolate sweets, says the bridge. You know what, Bridge? Me too, man. I love me some chocolate. Oh, here enters a man that I'm sure is a big fan of chocolate as well. We've got Fitz joining us in the studio. Well, I think Fitz is a bit like me. At this time of year, we are both aficionados of ice cream, right? Oh. What was the last ice cream you had, Fitz?
I'm afraid I had one. What day is today? Sunday.
Yeah. What was it?
It was a Magnum.
Oh, that was so good. So good. You know, I'm kind of lucky right now because Sophia's not a big ice cream fan.
She's not?
No, so it's lollipops.
So you get actually likes lollipops?
Yeah. So
Chupa Chups.
So I've been digging. Well, not the frozen ice pops, we would call them, right?
Ah, yeah. We call those ice lols.
Ice lols. Yeah, we call them ice lollies in Yorkshire.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, think about that. Well, I think Artemisa already identified it. We if we put chocolate, ice lollies, ice cream, and put them all into one thing, it uncovers a topic. Anyway, let's continue. Where did we leave off? Fame is where we left off. Artemisa says natural resources. Woof. That's a good answer. It's a great answer, but it's not there. Fitz, just to catch you up, our 100 human question for today was name something people are greedy for. Nombra algo por lo que la gente es codiciosa. We've had money, power, attention, and fame. All right, let's continue. Inheritances, says Mike. Eugene says sex. Jeez Louise, Eugene. People greedy for sex. Is it there? No, none of them were there. Wah, wah, wah. Neither is toilet paper, but good answer, Artemisa. People are greedy for toilet paper when a pandemic or something hits. Just get all the toilet paper. I don't understand the rationale for it.
Just buy it all.
Yeah.
Like immediately.
Like of all the things.
Yeah.
Like, buy canned food.
But it's I'm sure the toilet paper manufacturers are like, woohoo.
Yeah.
You know?
It's big toilet paper. controlling the narrative. You don't want to run out of toilet paper, friends.
Yeah. Don't fall short on the toilet paper. Whatever you do.
Yeah. Mike says hotel toiletries. Another great answer. In fact, if I've ever had any kind of skincare routine, it's because they give you a little moisturizer bottle in hotels. That's it. Whenever I go to a hotel, I steal the moisturizer.
Well,
and towels and shampoo.
I guess as you should.
I'm constantly making ice cream at home, healthy ones, says a bridge. Is there such a thing as healthy ice cream? Healthy for the soul, I think.
No, there are healthier.
Yeah.
You got the frozen yogurt.
Oh yeah, those are the ones.
But of course, it's not the same, you know.
Artemisa says status. Eugene says gasoline. But Artemisa also says food. Is food there? Something people are greedy for. Food. Yes, it is. Well done. Okay, we have to wrap it up there, friends. So let's very quickly go through the list. Name something people are greedy for. Nombra algo por lo que la gente es codiciosa. In position number 3 of 100 humans said possessions. Posesiones. Possessions. You know, whether that be a sofa, TV, whatever it is. Possessions. In position number 4 of 100 humans said fame. Fama. People are greedy for fame. In position number 5 was food, that umbrella term for all the things we were mentioning, whether it be chocolate, ice cream. I'm starting to get hungry now talking about this. In position number 4, we had success, éxito, success. We just missed that one, although we were hovering around the outskirts of success. 9 of 100 humans. In position number 3, people are greedy for attention. Atención. Well done. I think that was Gigi who got that one. In position number 2, we had power, poder. And finally, in position number 1, with 31 of 100 humans, we had money. Dinero. Well done.
Money.
So yeah, Fitz, we were talking about, I think tomorrow we may do a little dive into like UK politics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, why not? Burnham's in. I didn't really manage to do justice to the news, so I think we might dig into that. Have you heard about the Nigel Farage Binface drama?
Count Binface.
Count Binface.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, we'll get into that tomorrow. Do stay tuned for Fitz, and no excuses, guys. See you next time.